everyone. Welcome to another episode of Coffee Talk. I am Rochelle Danae Poth, and I'm excited to be here today to talk with another one of our fabulous ambassadors, Amy Storer. So welcome, Amy, to Coffee Talk. And if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, I can't even say it, your professional journey. I got so excited. And anything that you want to share with the rest of the ambassador community would be great.
Okay, well, I'm happy to be here. Very excited that this is a part of my day today. We're on Christmas break right now, our holiday break, and so my days have been kind of not very full of stuff, so this is fun to actually get to talk to somebody. My name is Amy Storer, and I am an instructional coach in Montgomery, Texas. It's about an hour north of Houston. I'm also the lead tech integration mentor for my district, Montgomery ISD. My career started, I don't know how many years ago. It was in a very small town in Southeast Texas called Finette, Texas, at the exact same school where my mother taught, where I went to school, all my cousins went to school. The school is still there, or the district itself. It's one elementary school, one middle school, maybe one fifth grade campus, and a high school. So the same as it's been since I was there. That's where I started my career. And then my husband got transferred with the post office, and we moved to Spring, Texas. And I taught in Spring ISD for 2 years, and then made my way to Montgomery, which is where I've been, and love this district, love how much I've grown within this district. And I was a fourth grade math science teacher for the most part in Montgomery, and then landed my dream job as an instructional coach. And that's kind of where I'm at today.
That's awesome. I've known you for a while and I know what you do, but I didn't necessarily know all about you and the different roles that you've played and the experience. And just in what you've shared in your writing and everything with me too. So I've gotten to know you, but it's interesting just how different our experiences can be, but then we find ourselves connected in these different communities. And I've known you, like I said, for a couple of years, but don't know all about you. So thanks for sharing that. And I'm looking forward to what you're going to share with all of us today. So I know you've been involved with Buncee for a while, and you've done some really great things. Most recently, the Holiday Hugs, which is just amazing. Seeing all those Buncees on the board. Last week, I took some time to go through and you want to go and look at every single one of them. So it has to be just such an amazing feeling just to see that come to life and just to be a part of that. And so I know that Buncee is near and dear to your heart. Is there anything that you could share with, about Buncee, how it has impacted you just in any of those roles, or personally, professionally, or a mix of both?
Yeah, so I came across Buncee, I want to say it always goes back to Mary Alice. That's kind of where it started with me, with some other tools as well. But she introduced it to me, and it was my first year as a coach. I didn't have any kids in my class at the time, but I knew, immediately I knew as soon as I got into that tool and started playing around. I think I even won a year's subscription from something, maybe an online conference. I don't remember which one it was, but I was able to play around with it for a while. And I've always said this, I don't find myself to be very artistic. In my head and in my mind, artistic abilities are things like, singing and dancing and painting and drawing, all things I'm not very good at. But that's really not the truth when it comes to being artistic. It's just being creative in your own space. And I feel at my most creative when I'm using Buncee. I feel like I can create things that make a difference or impact me and others, or just something for fun. It's just a really great tool. I didn't have kids, like I said at the time, but I was able to be around educators and just show them the power of this tool. And it just kind of spiraled. And I was working with Mallory Kirby, who's still my principal today. And as soon as she started playing around with it, she knew it was something she wanted to put in the hands of our students. So it's just a great tool. And I, as a coach, and I'll show some examples later, but I use it a lot for graphic design, newsletters. It's my go-to tool when I'm thinking of creating anything. When I was visiting with Marie about, it kind of spiraled from a pen pal idea and Drezik's, Miles of Smiles, and Buncee is always the tool that I think of when I have these ideas in my head. It's like, I know I could use it with this tool. And that conversation just turned into holiday hugs, which was such a cool thing. And to see how far it's come and the impact that I hope it's going to continue to make, and that it honors my mom and Marie's daughter. It's just the cherry on top.
Yeah, there are so many things. I was trying to keep track of all the different things you were saying there, and like that were resonating with me, and just like, it's so true. Like it is a go-to all the time when people say, well, what should I use? Because there are so many ways you can use it. And even when I've done presentations, like most recently at a conference, and you know, too, like you present it and you show how easy it is. And like, you look at the people that are watching and get their reactions, and like the eyes are big, and like, wow, you just did all of that. It does enable you to feel like you're creative, because like you, for years, I was afraid to draw or do anything. I mean, in ninth grade, I was told like, you really don't draw well. And so for years, I'm like, okay, I can't draw, I'm not creative. But I do find, not just with me, but with my students too, just seeing them say like, well, I don't know what to put in here. And then having that opportunity to go in and search through thousands and thousands of choices. And then what they come up with, I mean, not only does it let them see like, oh yeah, I can be creative, but it also gives us a way to learn about them too. And then going back to the holiday hugs as well, like there are so many awesome takeaways from that, even as it's still like just being shared out there, just the learning that happens. I mean, the kindness part of it, but also the learning and the connecting with the students from around the world, and being able to do that through Buncee, and being able to understand the languages too, just because now you have the immersive reader. I mean, just so many levels. It's awesome. But
yeah, the first, the week that my campus participated, my wonderful STEM teacher, Miss Maria Smith, I said, are you okay if I come in day one and I can work with all the classes that come through? And then the rest of the week, I'll let you take control. And she loved it, was eager to also get to know the tool a little bit more. And we started the conversation each class period with what this was for and who it was going to impact. And I could tell by the kids' faces that this was going to be something that made a difference to them and to others, and it was going to be important. And then watching them even kids who hadn't gotten on Buncee since school started, just how quick and easy it was for them to get used to the tool and maneuver their way through it. Everything about that day and the rest of the week and since then has been something that has just made my heart so incredibly happy.
And it's funny, like when we talk about it, I feel happy just even talking about it. Sometimes just because you can think about like with the students, when I see what they're creating, and a lot of times like I'll be looking at their projects and things and I'm thinking like, how did you even do that? Like I didn't know they even had those choices. But it is fun. Like when I start to create things, like I'll say all the time, like I made birthday cards for my parents. I mean, like, why not? You have all of these awesome choices. So, and speaking of like sharing in different ways you can use it, I think maybe we should just dive right into how you use it in your role as a coach. If you wanted to share some things, some tips, some ideas for getting started, anything, would love to hear it.
You want me to go and share my screen now?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thanks.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna use, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so this is something that Leticia Citizen, who's also a Buncee ambassador and a very, very dear friend of mine, we did this last year at ISD at the booth. And it was a way for us to share how we use Buncee in our roles, myself as an instructional coach, and I think she's referred to as a TOSA, if I'm saying that correctly, a tech coach. And so we each share different ways that we use it in our space. Because even though we don't have kids under our care, we do have teachers, and when you work with teachers, that impacts kids. And so we wanted to share how we use it to impact those around us. And so I won't take you through all the slides, but I'll show you just some to hopefully inspire you to try this tool out as a tech coach or instructional coach. So one of the first ways that we use it is for digital business cards. Michael Drezick did this as well, and he printed his. I still have mine. I got one from him at ISTE last summer and kept it so I could remember to do that with mine, but he printed it, I think, using like Vistaprint or Vistaprint. And just a great way to promote yourself and get yourself out there is by using, like I said, the digital business card or business cards. And then this is Leticia's that she created. We talked about newsletters, Miss Barbie Monty. She has such cool examples of newsletters that she's used in her classroom, kid created newsletters, which is super awesome. These are also some examples. Leticia, she uses Buncee for her newsletters that she does with her teachers. So just a really great way to get your voice out there is, like I said, using it for newsletters. And then we also included in this presentation too, how there's a template for that. They have a template library now where you can find pre-made templates to get yourself started, or start from scratch, which is my favorite. But for those that like to have kind of a jumping off point, the templates are great. Campus and district signage. So I use Buncee quite a bit for this purpose, and I use it to create graphics for trainings that are coming up, or PD, or don't forget, save the date kind of things. This is an example from Leticia about PD presentation covers that she shares with her teachers as well. But things like this was literally probably one of my first Buncees that I ever made. Super simple, but it was my first year as an instructional coach, and I started doing things like cookies with your coach, popsicles and PD. What was another one? There was a couple more. I did this for my district. Every week we would send this out for the summer PD, so they would know what was coming up each month and each week in the summer. Red Ribbon Week 2018 did the same thing for 2019. I created graphics in Buncee to share with our community as well as teachers and students. And then this is one of my favorite ones. This is an older one. I updated it for this year, but this was my Christmas card as a coach for the first few years as a coach, as I sent them this creation in Buncee, and it was a gift of time coupon that they could trade in for me to come cover class, early leave, late arrival, duty coverage, things like that. And then this year I did a different one. For this one, I did a choose your gift. Kind of felt like Ellen DeGeneres when I did this, but my teachers were given 4 gifts and to choose from, and they went to a Microsoft form, and they were able to choose from the 4 gifts: duty coverage, early leave, class coverage. I did a read aloud for pre-K through 5th, and then a digital breakout, which was so much fun with 2nd through 5th grade. They submitted it. And I was pretty busy the last couple of weeks of school, and the coupon never expires, so they can always use it next year as well.
That's awesome.
Just a fun way. And I'm always looking for ways to get in the classroom, and this, this is one way that I can not only get in the class, but also, I'm not very far. My heart is never far from the class. I know what this time of the year is like for teachers, and time is just something that is so precious all year, but especially around the holidays. And so anything that I can do to get into the classrooms and to help teachers and support them the best way that I can, I'm going to do. So it's been a lot of fun.
Oh, that one you just had on there, I remember seeing you post somewhere, and I thought that was just such a great idea. I think it was you that posted it, but just like there's so many ways to use these that I never would think of. And that's why I like having this talk and seeing examples like, oh, wow, like I could totally do that.
Yes. Okay, so this one's probably my favorite one so far. And this is my example on the left, and Leticia's is on the right. And although mine is created sometimes in a different tool, I typically try to do my best to include something related to Buncee in it, but I wanted to show this to you because Leticia's is completely made in Buncee, and she shares this at her copy machine. Same thing that I do. It's #CopyYourPD, hangs up next to your copy machine. This is a kind of a brainchild from Potty PD. We were in the 4 o'clock faculty group on Voxer and brainstorming ways to do this without having to put something in a bathroom. So we came up with #CopyYourPD, where you just hang these up every month next to the copy machines. And it's just real quick, bite-sized PD for teachers to get while they're copying papers. This was something I did for my copy PD last time. I found an idea. I don't remember what group it was in on Facebook, where it may have been a Science Penguin on Facebook, and they were talking about doing an ugly sweater about science vocabulary. but using like paper pencil, which is still perfectly fine. But I thought, hello, there's a sweater in Buncee. And so I was telling my teachers, you could get the kids to make like content driven or vocabulary specific. They can make a sweater based on those skills they've learned. So it's just like a review for the kids and share it with the kids in their class. And so I sent this as an example, and you could make this and get the kids to guess what it talks about. And this would be, of course, the water cycle, and just a fun way for kids to use, have fun with the holidays, but also keep it content driven as well.
That's a great idea. I'm glad you didn't ask me to answer the question. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I would have known that one. Like that and photosynthesis are things that I know very well.
That's funny. This one, website design. This, anytime I'm, if I'm using Wakelet and looking for something to just spice it up and make it a little bit cuter, I'm creating it in Buncee and using their, how you can change the size of the canvas now to fit specific dimensions on websites. Great way. This is Leticia's website that just shows you all the ways that she's using Buncee graphics to make her website pop in so many words. Graphics like these. This next one, I think this was for a blog post that I did for you a while back, maybe, where it was about self-care. Or someone, I keep thinking it was you, and made it in Buncee to add to the blog itself. PD, of course, this is a great tool to use to deliver PD. A lot of what I do when I deliver PD to teachers and on my campus and beyond, I build it within Buncee. Let me show you a couple more. This one's fun. These were things I didn't do it this year, now that I'm thinking about it. We did hashtag Tech the Halls. This was inspired by Meredith Akers, a great person to follow on Twitter. And so it's just like a game board for teachers to earn tickets to get into a drawing for different things, like I think we did like a Starbucks run or lunch on me, wireless mice, which is a hot commodity on our campus. And then that led to fall in love with tech. So these are things that can very easily be built using Buncee. Leticia's summer selfie bingo, super brilliant idea, which is in our ideas lab. So these are just some examples of PD that I've delivered where I've used Buncee specifically to make the slides. This chopped one was one of my favorite ones to do with my teacher. You've ever seen the Chopped on the Food Network?
Yeah.
So same concept. Yeah, it's just fun. The teachers are given a basket of things they have to use, some road bumps that might come in their way, and it was a lot of fun. We did an Easter theme for this one. Tech retreat, done this every single year, I think, since I've become a coach. And so that's just a Buncee graphic that I made to get the teachers excited about coming to my room to have some Halloween snacks and treats and to learn something new. This one we did this year, which I hope we do again next year. Friday the 13th and a full moon landed on the exact same day this school year. And so we did a moon party in Miss Store's room and had moon pies, that specifically, Starburst, something, food that's related to the universe. This was made.
That is super creative, by the way. You say you're not creative. That is super creative. I'm just going to say that.
And this, this was my principal, Mallory Kirby. And every time I share an idea with her, she's like, yes, let's do it. Let's try it. Even if it fails, let's try it. And when I found this idea, I think it was on a principal's page on Facebook. She's like, yep, let's do it. Appy Hour, another fun one that I did. Desktop background. So these are pretty neat. I started this, I think it was last year. I saw a bunch of people posting these desktop backgrounds that can help you organize all of your icons. And I thought, well, wait a second, I could do this in Buncee and it wouldn't have to include me having to buy anything. I could just create it and be as creative as I want. So, and I'm afraid if I minimize my screen, I'm going to not share this anymore, but like the computer I'm on right now has a desktop background. Of course, it's themed for Christmas and the holidays. So I change it every month to fit the theme or whatever, and just keep all of my folders and icons organized on my desktop by using this Buncee creation. This is Leticia's, which is super awesome. I love how she uses the notes app on her computer and puts that in the spaces for hers. But this template itself is from Buncee. And of course, Twitter chats, graphics, banners. You know, if I'm helping to lead a Twitter chat, Buncee's the tool that I use to make my question graphics. I just love it. Also, trying to add my Bitmoji in is always fun. These are some examples. So TC is used for her Twitter chats. So just an easy way. It's just a really great tool to use for, as you can tell, pretty much anything.
Yeah, definitely. And I love like the fact, like with just the chats, for an example, or all the social media. I mean, you can easily take the templates that are there and make them, or just make your own. But once, I don't know, I like to look at all of them, but then I'm like you, I kind of then want to just create my own and see what's out there, especially when you can search like the web and get all kind of different backgrounds, or even see like there's always new things, or there are always new things being added in. So I'm always looking at what's trending and what's new. And even some of the pictures, I had a background, and Ida said that she had taken that picture, and I forget where. I was like, seriously, like it was a beautiful picture of the trees and everything. And like, you don't realize that some of those are actually pictures taken from people from Buncee from around the world. So it's very cool to see all that in there. And I love all of these examples.
And the animations, I tell the kids, any class that I work with, the animations are my absolute favorite part of Buncee. I love the animations. It's typically the kids' favorite part too. But I discovered and there's probably another one out there that I could use, and I'm going to forget the name now. No, Record It is an app that I downloaded to my Mac. I think you can download it to a Windows computer too, but I'm able to take a Buncee graphic and turn it into a, make sure I say this word right, GIF or GIF, however you want to say it. I know it's said two different ways.
It is.
I know there's a right way and there's a wrong way, but I think I go back and forth. And I'm able to download that to my computer and then share it. So it's like a live animation of a Buncee. It's one of my favorite apps that I discovered. I think I discovered it probably not too long ago, whenever Sean was a part of Buncee.
Oh yeah. I don't know if I've heard that one, but the GIF, whenever I say it, I'm like, I don't know, GIF or GIF, but you have both sides. And I always think back to Jamie Donnelly and I having a discussion on the People Mover at FETC a few years ago. And she's like, it's not peanut butter. It's not GIF. And it's cheap because it's graphical. But even my students will argue about that. But you're right. Like I love the animations too, especially when, I mean, they're kind of current. So you have the kids who, like the students who are dabbing, the bottle flipping, all of those things that are kind of trending. It just makes it fun to create with. So yeah. So that's, I mean, any other tips that you would share, like for somebody who is trying to get educators on board with, diving into a new tool, like any, takeaways, or like, this is what you should do first, or advice you could offer?
Yeah, with anything new, it's important, baby steps. And I always tell teachers when I'm presenting on all things, whether it's Buncee or another creation tool or anything in general, pick one. Pick something you want to try, get really good at it, put that in your tech toolbox and look at another one. Don't overwhelm yourself with the technology, because as with anything, you always want to start with the learning and then locate and seek out something that can elevate or enhance it. And there's times where you may just do traditional things like paper, pencil, but if it can be done in a way that amplifies, creativity, collaboration, critical thinking, like that's all good stuff. If it gives the kids a safe space to work together, and like I said, collaborate and really explore critical thinking and creativity and all those things that are important that jobs these days require from our young adults. It's a great tool to use, and Buncee is a great example of that just lends itself to those things. I think a great place to start, first of all, you can try it out for 30 days right now. You could do like a trial and see what you think. I always share with teachers, tell your principal to do it, let them try it out, because that's what my principal did. She played around with it and knew it was something she wanted to put in the hands of her staff and students. But a really great place to start would be like just maybe for your classroom newsletter. or maybe it's just to make graphics. So you as an, an adult learner, a lead learner, can start playing around with the tool, and you can see the power of it. And you can start thinking of ways that your kids could use it in class in place of, or to empower them to do things for the greater good. It's just a great tool that just lends itself to so many opportunities for kids, adults, you name it.
Yeah, totally agree 100% with everything with what you said. And what I love about it the most, I mean, aside from all of the opportunities and possibilities you have for creating, is just that it is easy to get started with and to kind of just navigate on your own. And it can be scary when you try some different tool, and it's not always about the technology, but when you have something that can create all those possibilities to build those skills, like you mentioned, I think that's like the most important thing. So, well, thank you for your time for Coffee Talk today. And if anybody wanted to reach out to you, what is the best way to connect with you?
Well, I am on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all pretty much under the same name, Tech Amy S, TechAmys. I have a blog, but I haven't blogged in a really, really long time.
It's okay.
And that's always been I'll make it a goal again this year, is to blog some more, because it always feels good when I do it. But it's Converse in the classroom. I'm a huge Converse sneaker fan, so that's kind of where my blog theme came from. But yeah, I'm really active on Twitter. So I would love for you to connect with me and share some great ideas on how to use Buncee.
All right. Well, thank you. And thanks everybody for joining us for our Coffee Talk with Buncee Ambassador Amy Storer today. We will catch you next time.